Hey, good morning, Natomas Christian School and Fairfield Christian School. 2. That's all we have left. 2 weeks of memory verses remaining in this school year. We have the memory verse this week, and then we also have next week's memory verse, and then that's it for the entire school year. So what I'm asking you and what I'm challenging you is for these next 2 weeks, let's give it our best effort and let these next 2 memory verses be the most effective, and let it be our best that we've done in memorizing our weekly scripture. Our trait for this week is the trait of being perseverant, and that word means exactly what you think it is. Excuse me. It means exactly what you think it is. It means someone who will persevere, someone who will stay dedicated and committed to a cause, someone who will start something and see it through. And our memory verse comes from the book of Galatians this week. We're in Galatians 6, and we're in verses 9 and 10. And the memory verse says, "So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially those in the family of faith." So what's happening right here? This is Paul. He's writing a letter. He's writing it to the church at Galatia. The church at Galatia was predominantly Jewish. And what you have after the people coming to the message, the church is starting to open up, and you're starting to get converts to the cause who are not Jewish by culture and by tradition, and they're Gentiles. And so you have some conflict between the Jews and the Gentiles, and you have some Jews who are holding tight and holding on to laws and tradition, and they're saying that the Gentiles actually have to hold on to these laws if they're going to be true converts. Some of these Jewish congregation and Jewish leaders were actually starting to question Paul, and they were starting to question his authority and his credibility in order to give instructions to the Jewish people. So Paul actually had to take a moment. He had to reestablish his credibility and his authority as a witness to Jesus Christ, and he had to establish the fact that yes, he could, through his life, through his testimony, through his witness, through his own Jewish upbringing, he could in fact speak with credibility to the Jewish laws, and he could talk about how some of these laws and traditions were no longer valid, were no longer necessary in order to have a full relationship with God. And so that's where we are in this message right now. And so this message, this verse right here about us persevering, it begins with, so let's not get tired of doing good. This is like a perfect dovetail coming off of what we were just working on for the last couple of weeks with our memory verse out of Romans. And so we have to be willing to stay committed to doing the right thing, and we have to be committed to doing whatever task we take on. Right now is a perfect time to talk about being perseverant. We have a couple of weeks of school left. Some of us are probably feeling tired. We're probably feeling a little overwhelmed. We're probably figuring out, oh my goodness, isn't school over yet? No, it's not over yet. You still have a couple of more weeks. So right now, don't get tired of doing what you need to do. Don't get tired of doing your homework. Don't get tired of doing your reading logs. Don't get tired of doing your math assignments. Don't get tired of practicing your instruments. Don't get tired in practicing your memory verse and your songs for chapel and all these different things. Now is not the time to get tired. Now is the time to actually to recommit and find an extra dose, an extra burst of energy and push through the finish line. You've got plenty of time to rest in about 3.5, 4 weeks. You got plenty of time to rest in, but now let's persevere to the end. And in our memory verse, it says, let's not get tired of doing what is good. It's hard sometimes to do what is good. It's really easy to do what's not good. We were born with sin nature, so it's easy for us to roll out of bed and do what is not good. What Paul is telling to the Galatian people, and what we have to remember, is that we have to do good in order for our blessing to come. And the problem is, I don't know how long you have to do it for. Maybe you only have to work for 3 days and you will get your blessing. Some of us may have to work for 3 weeks or 3 months or even 3 years or longer before we get our blessing. What happens is people work for a little while, they put enough energy in it expecting good, they're expecting a blessing to come because you made a decision to do something, or because you started something but you haven't finished it out. You have got to actually see it through before the blessing. And the problem is, I don't know. And too many times we give up before our blessing. And so right now, I'm telling you, hang in there. Keep doing it. Don't get tired. Don't get tired of doing what is good. Well, what's good? Well, we've talked about this several times over this year. We're supposed to encourage the brethren. We're supposed to encourage each other. We're supposed to pray for each other. We're supposed to do our work. We're supposed to strengthen our relationship with God. We're supposed to pray. We're supposed to do all of these things. On top of that, doing good is also whatever obligations like you have at home, like chores or any commitments around your house that your parents have already told you, or your coaches or your teachers. Doing those things, that's also doing good. And so the scripture says, don't get tired of doing good. Keep doing it. And at the right time, your blessing will come. I don't know what your right time is. Only you and God are going to know what that right time is. And really, only God is going to know the right time. And He's going to bless you at the right time. He's going to bless you when He feels that you are in the right mindset, that you're right with Him spiritually, and that you are in a position to receive whatever the blessing is. And we cannot put a timetable on God's blessing. That's when we get in trouble. When we want to do the blessing of ourselves, when we want to go at our own time schedule. Scripture says when the time is right, then your blessing will come. And then one other thing we have to remember from this memory verse that goes perfectly with what we were talking about last week. Verse 10 says, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those in the family of faith. Last week, we ended with always be eager to practice hospitality. We had the verse the part of that verse that also said, for those who are called and who are part of the family of God. Family of God, the family of faith, these things are perfect synonyms. These things, so this just, again, goes to show us that even though it's a different part of the Bible, even though it's a different week, these verses have meaning outside of just the 1 week for us to know them. That Scripture constantly reinforces itself. We still get the same message in different parts, and that's how we know that this is a true word for us. This is how we know that God is speaking to us, is that He tells us the same message in different parts so that we don't forget it. And so just hang in there, you guys. Let's be perseverant. Let's hold on. Let's continue to do what's good. Let's finish strong. Let's have a wonderful final couple of weeks here. And please, I'm begging Natoma students, I'm begging Fairfield students, let's commit to letting these last 2 weeks be the best we've ever done with our memory verses. So that's it for this week. You guys have a great day. Have a wonderful week. And until next time, God bless you. Later.